Hey, good day. Here's a great piece by Grant Cardone. 6 things multimillionaires know that you don't. While you may think $1,000,000 will give you freedom financially, it will not. Think about the volatility in economies, financial markets, and governments around the world, and you'll see it's no longer safe to assume $1,000,000 will provide you or your family with any true security. Many millionaires don't feel wealthy today. Many believe they need a surplus of $5 million of investable assets to even begin feeling rich. I don't teach people to get rich by a lifetime of savings and pinching pennies. Save $100 a month for 20 years, and you'll blow that one big dental problem someday. You need big money to take care of all the expenses of life. I'm all about generating multi-million-dollar wealth and enjoying it during the creation process. To get started, consider these 6 secrets of multimillionaires, things they know that you were never taught. And I agree with Grant here. I mean, I think people think they need, $1,000,000. It seems like a lot of money, and if you have a very, very low overhead, it might be okay. I mean, maybe, but you're not going to feel wealthy with that because there's so much volatility today. You just don't know. I think 5 million would be a starting point. But I know when you're first getting started, you think, wow, that's like I can't even fathom saving even $1,000,000, let alone 5 million. But you know what? If you get great at what you do and you learn how to, solve other people's most pressing problems and you focus on, solving those problems, money will start flowing to you. The other thing is you need to focus on being great at what you do. One of the things I've noticed is that you take, it doesn't matter what the field is, whether it's a business or sports or acting or you name it, it doesn't really matter what it is. Every endeavor, whether you're a doctor, a dentist, an attorney, the great ones make big money. So instead of chasing dollars, focus on being great. So here's the first thing. Number one, these multimillionaires, what they know is they treat success like a duty. Multimillionaires are motivated not just by money, but by the need to contribute at a level consistent with their potential. Multimillionaires don't lower their goals when things get tough. Rather, they raise expectations for themselves because they see the impact they can make with their families and company and community and charities. So one of the things that you want to do is, if things get tough, and they will get tough, is raise your expectations, raise your work ethic, raise your focus on personal development, get better. Number 2, surround yourself with the multimillionaires. Because I've been studying wealthy people since I was a child. I read their stories and saw all of the things they went through. These were my mentors and teachers who inspired me. You can't learn how to create wealth from someone who doesn't have it. Let me repeat that. You can't learn how to create wealth from someone who doesn't have it, who's not done it, because you can't teach what you don't know. So who are the people who say money won't make you happy? Well, duh, the folks without money. Who says all rich people are greedy? People who wish they were rich themselves. Wealthy people don't talk like this. You must follow their example. What are they reading? How do they invest? What drives them? In studying, I've done the same thing. I've read, like I've said this many times, I'll say it again, I've probably read over 1,500 books, maybe 1,600 books on personal development. And, I've studied wealthy people like a maniac since 1979. So, it's 37 years I've been studying wealthy people and successful people, reading countless autobiographies and biographies of successful people and all kinds of other stuff. And the one thing is, they all have challenges. I've had tons of challenges on my way to becoming wealthy, and everybody has them. There's nobody that's immune from that. But what they do is they just keep getting better, and they don't let that stop them from getting, from doing the work necessary, the improvement, the work to get there. And neither should you. Number 3, no poverty thinking. There's no shortage of cash on planet Earth. There is not. There's limitless amounts of cash on the planet. It's growing all the time. Only a shortage of people who think correctly about it. This is the most important part of this little paragraph here. There's only a shortage of people who think correctly about it. And if you're not reading the right things, associating with the right people, studying successful people, you're not going to know what the right thinking is, and you're going to keep thinking like maybe you were reared to think like. And if you came from a family like I did, where nobody ever even went to college or was ever a business owner or ever became financially successful, well, those people, although I loved them dearly, I would never, ever go to them for advice or ask them how to be successful. You don't go there. You go to people who have done it, because you can't teach what you don't know. He says, I know because I had to myself. To become a millionaire from scratch, you must end all poverty thinking. Let me repeat that. To become a millionaire from scratch, which is what I did and many people I know have done, you must end all poverty thinking, all negative thinking, all limiting thinking, all beliefs that are poor. I know because I had to myself. He goes, I was raised by a single mother who did everything possible to put my siblings through school and make ends meet. She taught me about scarcity. She taught me about fear. Eat all your food. There are people starving in China. Don't waste a thing. Money doesn't grow on trees. Real wealth isn't created from this attitude, folks. You're not going to get there with that kind of limited thinking, which most of us unfortunately grew up around. You're going to have to kind of just infuse yourself with all the right kind of thing. Read the right kind of books, listen to the right kind of audios, attend the right kind of seminars, watch the right kind of videos, and especially associate with the right kind of people. Number 4, shift focus. You want to go from spending to investing? The rich people don't spend money, they invest. Because when you have money, you're either spending it or you're investing it. It's kind of the same thing with your time. You're either spending your time like doing, watching TV, playing golf or bowling or softball or, I don't know, whatever you like to do, spending all day in front of the tube on Sunday during football season, and, which I know you enjoy doing that, but if you're not wealthy, you're spending time, not investing time. The wealthy people, they know the secret that U.S. tax laws favor investing over spending. You buy a house, you're unable to write it off. The rich, however, buy an apartment building that produces cash flow, appreciates, and offers write-offs year after year. You buy cars for comfort and style to get around. The rich buy cars for their business that are deductible because they're used to produce revenue. So everything you're doing is, it's why starting your own business is one of the smartest, from a tax standpoint, the smartest things you can do. You get much, much bigger tax breaks being a business owner than being an employee. As an employee, you can't write anything off really to speak of, but if you own a business, man, you can write all kinds of stuff off, which is awesome. Shift your focus. Go from spending to investing. Number 5, multiple flows of income. Like, wealthy people don't depend on one flow of income, but instead create a number of revenue streams. My first business had been generating a 7-figure income for years before I started investing cash in multifamily real estate. Once my real estate and my consulting business were going well, I went to a third business, developing software to help retailers improve their customers' experience. The point is, I didn't stop with one good income flow. One of the things I like about my business is there's multiple income flows. There's insurance, there's investments, there's auto and home, there's renewals. There's tons of different ways of income, not to mention all the other investments I've made with the income that I've made. So, what you want at some point is to have massive passive cash flow where money's coming in because of investments you've made, either investments in your business to grow it or investments in property or in other things that you might invest in that put off cash flow that don't require you, to actually physically do anything. That passive cash flow, money, one of the things I learned a long time ago is that money never sleeps if it's invested properly. Number 6, work like a millionaire. Rich people treat time differently than the masses. I can't emphasize this. Rich people treat time differently than the masses. They understand that time is unbelievably valuable, that every single person on the planet has the same amount of time available to them 24/7. That's it. Even if you're super, super wealthy like, Warren Buffett, you don't have any more than 24 hours in a day. So what's the difference is how they treat time. They manage that time. One of the things that I talk about all the time is I never went to bed, planning every hour of the following day, hour by hour. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew exactly who I needed to call, who I needed to go see, what I needed to prepare for in terms of, appointments that I was going to have or meetings that I was going to put together, training sessions, that sort of thing. So he says, I buy it. He buys time while poor people sell it. Let me give you an example. I would never wash my own car. Why would I wash my own car? I'll pay somebody to do it, and while they're washing my car, I'll make 20 phone calls and create a bunch of business. I'm never going to cut my own grass. Why would I cut my own grass? I'll hire somebody to do that. They do it once a week. They're spending maybe 2, 3, 4 hours in my yard. That 2 or 3, 4 hours, I can make who knows how many calls I could make in that time period, right? 10, 20, 30 calls. I could create way more income than for example, cost me maybe $100 a week to get my lawn, my whole yard taken care of. Got a big yard, so that time I could probably make $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. Why would I spend that time cutting my grass or changing the oil in my car or cleaning my house or any of those things? It's silly. Poor people sell their time. Rich people buy the poor people's time. And I don't mean that derogatory. It's just the way it is, right? They need income. I want somebody to do that job for me. I will pay them well. I'll pay them what the going rate is, whatever that happens to be, so I can use my time more valuable, because wealthy people know time is more valuable than money itself. So they hire people for things they're not good at or aren't a productive use of their time. Like in my business, one of the things I see a lot of people, they start to have a little success, and what they do, instead of hiring a secretary, even a part-time secretary, to handle all the administrative parts of their business, they do it themselves. So they become a secretary. They become a $10, $15, $20 an hour employee when they're really worth $100 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $500 an hour, and they're paying somebody. To avoid paying somebody $10 to $20 an hour, they're doing work that they could be making $100 to $200 an hour. It's retarded. They just don't get it. They have a poverty mentality. You don't want to do that. So an example of this might be household chores. I don't have time to wash my car or mow my lawn. I mentioned that already. I'd never do that. I'd rather pay someone a little to do it for me, free up my time so that I can do something more productive, more valuable. Never believe that those who hit it big don't work hard. Absolutely. Financially successful people are driven by the hunt for success and work to the point they feel they're winning and not just working. So it's not that you're not working hard. It's not that I'm lazy. It's just that that's not, you got to figure out what's the most valuable use of my time. And it's not washing my car or cutting my lawn or cleaning the house or any of those things. Those things are things that must get done, no question about it, but you don't have to do them. So the final thing I want to leave you with is this. Wealthy people wish you were wealthy. That's no question. I'd rather have a bunch of wealthy people because those are people that I want to do business with. I want to be friends with. It's a mystery to them why so many people don't get rich. I know it just blows my mind how people settle for so little, for a meager salary. It's unreal. Well, one of the main reasons, they don't have an opportunity or they don't believe in themselves. They know they aren't special and that wealth is available to anyone who wants to focus and persist with it. Let me repeat that. I know I'm not special. I've worked very hard at my business. I'm very, very good at my business, but I'm not special. Anybody that put in the time and read the 1,500-plus books I read and attended all the seminars I attended and did all the work I did to become a professional salesperson would have similar, maybe a lot of you would have much better results. But in terms of being special, no. The only thing special on me is I'm self-disciplined. I work hard, and that's true for every really super successful, wealthy person that's made it, themselves. They didn't inherit it from daddy. They weren't part of the lucky sperm club, but they are people that did the work to create their business. And if you're someone who wants to focus and persist and get better and do the work, it's not. You don't have to be special. You just have to do the work. Rich people want others to be rich for two reasons. One, so you can invest in their products and services. And two, they want to hang out with other rich people. It's fun to work, to play with rich people. I mean, they can do things with you. So a lot of the people, people that I went to school with, the reality is today, and I don't mean this in a negative or arrogant way, I just don't have anything in common. The things that I do in my spare time with my family and stuff, or with my wife, or with friends, they cost a lot of money. And so people that don't have money can't do that. So what do? You end up paying for them. I'm not going to pay for them. I mean, if they want to do that, they need to go make their own money, right? So they're fun to hang around with because what I found, this is not 100%, but most of the people that I know that are very, very successful are really fun people. And they're not special. They're just good at what they do. They paid a price to be great at what they do, whatever that happens to be. And so, I have friends who direct sitcoms. I have friends that own restaurants. I have friends that are doctors or attorneys. I have friends that own all kinds of businesses, crazy business that you wouldn't even think people could make money. I have a friend that owns a bunch of, shopping centers. I mean, all kinds of different people. But the one thing they have in common, they are doers. They're people that want to do something great with life. They love having a great life. They love taking care of their families. They love living large, if you will, right? And you can do that too. The one thing you need to realize, that those people, including me, aren't special. We just paid a price. We're self-disciplined and we work hard and we mastered our whatever happens to be our craft, and that's how you make big money. If you want to make big money, you need to be great at what you do, and money will follow you.